Hey, this is Scarecrow Kaiser. I'm gonna do like a updated profile on GrandBlue. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've done it. So I've changed it. So there's a few changes in here. I'm sure some people won't agree with. Some people might think are cool. It's whatever. I don't. Alright. My starter at the moment, I prefer Skeleton. It's really kind of hard to decide which is better between Skeleton and Night Kid. They're both very good. I don't really find either of them bad. They're both pretty good, and it's difficult to make up a choice between them. Night Kid gets your combos off and is pretty much always guaranteed to be useful when you use him. Skeleton won't always be able to get you your grade 3, but he helps make your deck more consistent by being another way to get to a grade 3 if you can't draw one. Alright, so he's the starter. And the trigger lineup is 8 crit, 4 stand, and 4 heal. Crits, obviously, you don't really need to be talked about. 4 stand, because being able to stand this guy right here is really good. This is an aggro style deck. That and when it comes to draw triggers, they can be weak for defending. Yeah, but this is the trigger lineup I prefer. Some people, and I have before, played like 6 crits and 6 stand. At that point, the stands got a little redundant, and the crits turned out to be more useful. So the grade 1 lineup: 3 samurai, 3 cutlass, 4 Romero, and 4 Jin. Some people nowadays don't run this card. They prefer to run the Dragon Soul or Dragon Spirit, which I can't really disagree with or say that card's bad. Reason I run this is just preference. I prefer the +1 out of it versus the using the Dragon Soul to just fire for big numbers and pitch things from the soul. I like this guy, because in this kind of aggro style deck, you can start falling behind in minuses. Well, your opponent can start picking you off, and I like being able to have cards that can rebuild my resources. Like, every time this card's summoned, like if he gets revived by the Casetas, I get to draw a card. I prefer this card to the Dragon Spirit. Not that there's anything really wrong with Dragon Spirit, it's a pretty good card, but this is the lineup I prefer. I was previously running 4 Samurai Spirit, but I really needed to make a cut in my grade 1, so I had to cut a Spirit. But 3 still working pretty good, better than I anticipated. The grade 2s, I got 4 Pietro, probably my favorite GrandBlue card, 4 Blue Blood, 1 Deadly Spirit, and 2 Skeleton Swordsmen. These are pretty standard. I'm running the 2 Skeleton Swordsmen because he's not a great card in this kind of aggro style deck, so I don't want many of them, but I still like to have 2 of him around because he gives the deck more options. For times when I get to revive people, I can having more options of things to revive in the grave, like him for defense, can be useful based on the situation. And then there's 1 Deadly Spirit because, as I said, the defense isn't as important as the offense in this deck. So he's another 9,000, and the fact that he can be revived is just an additional plus. Not that reviving him is something you'll get to do a lot, but it's just there just in case. I mean, I'd rather put in maybe I can revive this guy and be useful sometimes beat stick versus just a normal beat stick. The grade 3s, there's 4 Ice Prison Necromancer, 2 Basskirk. I know people are gonna disagree and some people will like this, and then 2 Thanatos. Necromancer, he's pretty busted. There's no arguing, he makes the best Vanguard. Thanatos, very good rear guard. He's the whole reason why I like to run stands in here. Well, not the whole reason, but he's a very good reason to be running stands. So you attack with him first. They probably block it because they don't want you getting another attack in. Then you drive check a stand and give them a second chance. As for the Basskirks, In my experience playing this game and my playstyle, my decks run best when I have about 5 to 6 grade 3s that are good at being the Vanguard. Some people might like a little bit less. And I don't want Thanatos or Nightstorm to be my Vanguard. So I have the 4 Casitas because I want him to be the Vanguard. Then I have 2 Baskerks as backup. Plus, obviously, if you know this card and have an experienced player with it prior to like this deck coming out, this card is very cool. You can do lots of cool things in this deck with this card, especially with like this card and stuff. He's a very sweet card, so I just prefer having the 6 guys who are useful as the Vanguard. It's what runs best for me. So yeah, that is my current GrandBlue deck.